us more light forward.
Okay, shoot, I just
You want the
disconnected
light
myself
forward or
from
down?
Adium.
That's the thing.
It would be more forward, for sure.
Oh.
There's another white object.
But, okay, so if I give you light
So
forward,
we're zooming
then there's
in
no light
on
when
this
he
large
does a
rock that
zoom in
has
like that.
some
Problem
animal
is, what
right
I'm
at the
getting is
bottom.
light on the top, and it's just making shadows everywhere else.
Video, I wonder if shutting off some of our the lights up top might help.
The boulders we're looking at are getting much bigger. Now this looks like some kind of a coral, and looks like, is that a sea urchin to the right of it? Or, no, it's a sponge. Shirley is one of the world's sponge experts. Well, she has a t-shirt with a Superman thingy that is, yeah, followed by
Super sponge t-shirt.
punge.
Couple shelled critters on this sponge.
There
Just
are,
white
Co-pilot's working on lighting.
yeah, there's
Why is it
several
there?
commensals. Well, at least one blobby commensal on the left side of the coral. Kind of hard to see what that coral is. Chris, do you have an identification for this? I imagine that Chris is flipping through his series of collections of photos of things that have been amassed from dives
Fish underneath.
all over the world with this vehicle. And there's a fish.
Hi, Patty. This is Scott. I wrote down that was a stylosterid hydrocoral, but
Okay.
I'm not sure, actually. It might be a Starktinian, and I don't know what the white blob is, and I'll let you get to the fish.
Looking straight down at you.
Thank you.
All right, 5 seconds video.
Okay, fish, come on out. Let's take a look at you.
5,
Sideways, please.
4, 3.
Thank you. I don't think he can hear
All
us.
right, come on out. Thank you, video.
That looks cusk
Lifting
eelish
off.
to me. But I'm certainly no expert. And there's a red critter on top of that rock that's probably a shrimp. There's a big anemone. Look at the anemone.
Maybe a quick
I think
size
that's-
video.
This is an ophidioid, and I'm working on which one it is, so I'll probably be able to come up with a name for the event log in a bit.
Too much time
Thank you
video,
very much,
but
Chris. Beautiful anemone here on the rock.
maybe something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
In
well,
order to
I
get
mean,
this wonderful
the challenge is
high-definition
if you
video
put all
you're
the
looking
light right
at,
in
the pilots are able
put
to
it out.
adjust the light
If you
bars
spread the
along
light
the
out,
submersible
then
to
you end up with no light right
maximize
down
the
when you do
detail
zoom
in
because the
features
main
that we're
lights
looking
are
at
not
on the
pointed
seafloor.
there. The main lights are pointed out, right? So then if you spread the light pool even more, there's nothing right in front of the ROV. Okay. All right. All right, so let me take the upper ones and get them out of the picture and spread them out, and then let me bring the lower ones in. So maybe the upper ones. Yeah, let's try that. Yep. Okay.
Some of the rock fragments that you're looking at here have interesting surfaces. They look a little bit ropey, in other words, rugose, and that's indicative of the surface of
Need you to push
lava
ahead, pilot,
flows
thanks.
in some cases.
So
So this may be fragments of lava flows that occurred
Thanks,
during
Matt.
eruptions of this volcano. If you take a look at the screen that shows the Sirius view of the remotely operated vehicle. You can see a little bit of the terrain surrounding the remotely operated vehicle.
Looks like your right light bars.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
Just have my hands full.
Sponge on the right of the rock. So something on top of that right rock, purple.
Video 1 sec, we're doing a quick pilot change. I'm just gonna set down.
We are going to set down the vehicle and take a look at the seafloor here. There's some dark areas of fine ash. We are getting a little closer to the summit of the rim of the crater. There's a shrimp nestled up against the rock that has the black face on the left-hand upper corner of your field of view.
Hold on. Try again, survey 1. Gotcha. Good. Yeah, maybe it's a break at some point, but we're good.
Very, very fine ash. And ash is just broken up pieces of lava.
Cool.
What happens when the magma reaches a shallow level in the throat of a volcano? It's got dissolved gases in it throughout its traverse up the throat of the volcano, but when it gets under lower and lower pressure,
Morning,
the
pilot.
gas comes out of
Pilot.
solution
Morning, Carl.
and
Hey,
then
I'm gonna
can
switch out,
break
Carl.
apart the magma when it erupts
Carl,
from the
all right.
volcano. And that's
Just
what
upper
causes
right of
these
this image, I saw
incredibly
something.
violent eruptions.
Slightly translucent, possible Hawthornian, possible.
Okay. All right. Just give me a sec to get oriented here. Video.
We're having a change of pilot right here. And for a couple of minutes, the pilots are going to be reorganizing.
To Sean, but I want to double check that you're aware.
Command, giving one
Seems to
another,
be
you know,
on.
an update
Yeah,
on
by
what's been
10.
happening during the dive.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have to keep remembering that so we
Yeah.
don't just by
Have it.
routine.
So stand by, and we'll get
Big
going
text
again in a little bit.
circled and squared in my notebook.
It's more. You have to keep an eye on that co-pilot because he might just naturally
Yes.
watch it. Be like, we're okay.
Like I was saying earlier, if you take a look at the view that shows you the view of the ROV, the remotely operated vehicle
zoom in,
from the
video?
Sirius vehicle,
Is it there?
which
Top
is
edge is-
suspended
okay,
above
gotcha.
it from the surface ship, you can see the terrain surrounding the remotely operated vehicle.
This
The
white
Sirius vehicle is
Yeah.
attached to the remotely operated vehicle by a 30-meter long
hollow
tether. So that's how much slack the ROV has in order to move around on the
floor
seafloor.
sponge. Maybe?
So
No?
sometimes as we traverse the seafloor, the
Yeah.
ROV will get way
I
out
agree.
in front of Sirius, and then, you know, basically can't do anything until we can move Sirius. The only way we can do that is by moving the ship itself, and that will drag Sirius, which
Okay.
is
Wanna zoom in?
not powered by propellers, into a position so that the ROV has more slack.
Watch
Now
two,
we're
we're
zooming
calling
in
now.
on, this looks like another one of those Hawthornians that are kind of translucent.
Yep.
And I
It
think,
is a Holothurian.
I
Yep.
think this is the front end this time, because I
Tilt
don't
up
see a
the
whole
video.
coil of sediment inside of him, which is what he releases, to say it politely, after he has absorbed any nutrients in whatever it is he's climbing along.
It's a normal
Normal function.
metabolic process.
Right, everybody
normal
does this.
physiological process.
So co-pilot, you caught that the
No, the
depth is
videographer
reading
says he
about
thinks
10
we're looking
high,
at the
so you're really-
backside. So I
delta's
got
really
it
16.
completely wrong.
Yeah, Jeff said
Do you want to swing around the other side?
that's interesting.
So I'm pretty
We were
sure
seeing
that
that at
this
on the 6,000
sea
meter dive. We were
cucumber
seeing
is in the genus
that's
Hansenopteria, but
figuring
Kind of
we'll
expect
find
that, I
out
think.
when we
Yes, I
send
figured that was
pictures of
normal
it to probably
as a
Andre
percentage
Gabruk at the Shirshov
difference, but
Institute in
surprised to see it
Moscow.
at this depth.
Thanks, Chris.
Sean wasn't sure if he might have not hit the set sea level completely or something. So we'll see how it is tomorrow.
Oh. So there's an...
In
So
the morning, you set sea level. You know, if the atmospheric pressure changes.
Okay.
I don't think it's ever 10 meters, of course, because that's a lot. But
10 meters. Well, 10 meters is about 1 atmosphere. Isn't it? I think so.
yeah, but it should remember yesterday's set sea level. So I think the overall.
But if somehow it got set to 0.
Yeah, maybe. So it's not necessarily that the sensor's bad. Okay, video. Want to go in? Watch lead pilot.
Pilot, this is the watch lead.
Hi, we have a new front row sitting here. Just getting a zoom on this shrimp. And then
Right.
I heard the plan is to proceed up to the top of this seamount. See what we
Yes.
find.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Expeditiously?
We would like to get up to the top of the seamount. One of the goals of collecting geologic samples on this dive is to try to find something that is in place
Gotcha.
so that we can make sure that we understand what the composition of this cone is.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so something that is obviously fallen from something
I
very
do.
nearby.
Yeah, no,
That
that's
would be perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And you don't want that until we get to the crest, is that right?
Well, to the crest or close to it.
Okay.
It might be that there be some exposures of outcrops up there. Pretty sure that all this stuff came from the summit, but you know, I can't tell unless it's real close to a cliff or something.
Right, right.
And we're supposed to try to get to the
Thank you.
to the summit fairly expeditiously. Is that correct?
Well,
Fairly. They
Yeah, the rocks are getting awfully
Well,
big up
probably
here.
want the sample on the way up, so
We're only
we're
We've only
150
been-
meters from the peak.
We've only been 2 of 8 hours, and we're already at the top, so
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing
Can't
okay.
do-
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing
Okay.
pretty
in
good.
The trans-
They
yeah.
do
Wow.
want to spend a lot of time in the crater, in particular around waypoint 4.
course.
up to
Pilot,
5.
watch lead.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking on the lower right-hand side now. I don't know if you can settle down here, but
course.
this actually does look like it's in place.
Okay.
And there are 2 rocks, a huge one and
Yeah.
then a smaller one.
Okay.
Once we get the lasers on it, I guess we can tell how big it is. But
I see what you're talking
if we
about.
can get something there, that'd be great.
Let's see. We've got the lasers. It looks reasonable. Let's see.
You think that's pretty good?
It's looking very
Yeah, it's about 15. I bet it's cemented in, but
About 15 centimeters diameter?
yeah, it looks like a nice sphere. I can give it a poke. It looks kind of cemented.
Yeah, it may be. And if you just, you know, as usual, move it a little bit with the manip, see if it's loose, that'd be great.
Of course.
Yeah, just be careful it doesn't roll down the hill. It's fairly round.
We can chase it.
Yeah, the round ones tend to escape. So we're settling down to
want,
try to collect a
HPU?
rock sample
Yes,
for the
please.
geologists who have requested
And then
this
I think you're all
dive.
settled out, so we could get mini
We're
zoos on
up
the right
pretty
screen.
close to the
Yeah, it
summit
should be stationary.
of the rim of a
Go ahead.
crater that we're targeting for this dive.
I'm listening to OKEX. That way I just hear everyone. And
Okay, thanks,
I do
pilot.
hear them. Okay.
Yes.
All right. They're
Right. So
both-
sometimes when there's a lot
both
of
set to 0.
discussion going on, pilot, what I've been doing is turning off OKEX line and then speaking directly to either pilot or nav.
Understood. Sorry about
Okay,
that. If we
thanks.
had that.
No, that's
different.
okay.
You need anything else on you?
So part of
Can you
the
get
reason
mini zoos
that
on that
we're
screen?
trying to pick up a sample here is that there is an exposure right behind
tell me-
it
run me how to
that
do
looks
that.
like
Do you monitor
it's
right?
what we call
ROV
in situ.
HT2?
That just means in
So you
place.
hit that.
Yeah.
And the geologists who are interested in this locality
Then you
are
hold down your mini zoom
interested
control.
in trying to
Right, sorry,
compare the
that's just-
composition of
that's
the
right.
lavas
Okay.
here
Okay,
with
right.
some that were collected on another kind of a part of this volcano that's a little bit to the southwest. And those were the rocks that had the unusual composition.
The craft so I can get it out.
So they're interested to find out whether or not the composition on this part of the volcano is similar or different
more delay
from
than
that which they already have collected in a dredge.
Hold it there. I think I'll be able to get the rock and the arm from there.
So what our ROV's the pilot's going to do is move the manipulator arm out toward this rock. You'll close the claw, and you'll see some silver finger-like parts of the end of the manipulator arm that can close on one another. And just kind of tap the side of this to see if it's loose. Because if it is part of the outcrop or part of the more or less vertical wall that's maybe a foot and a half tall behind it, see if this rock is loose enough to recover. And it looks like it is. Whoa, but the problem with these roundy rocks is that sometimes they roll down the hill, but this looks like a beautiful sample if we are able to get it.
You're going port rock box with
this? Yeah, do port wing inboard. So it's actually on the starboard valve pack.
So instead of picking it up immediately, the pilot is going to open the cover on the port rock box,
got it.
which he is moving into position. And that one has a cover. So he'll open the cover first with the manipulator, and then when he is able to pick up the rock, if he's able to pick it up, if it doesn't escape him, he's able to pick it up. It's just whether or not
these guys are good.
Yeah, but if that rock gets touched and rolls down the hill, we'll have to go for another one.
It's going to be a roller.
Yeah.
So we're going to go.
These guys are phenomenally well experienced with picking up samples.
So skilled.
Really are.
You're just trying to flatter us now.
Yes, we are. We heard you have candy.
Huh?
We heard you had candy.
I do, actually.
Chocolate, yeah.
We respond to candy almost as well as flattery, too.
We would be appreciative.
We respond to candy, okay.
Yeah, certainly do.
Okay, Patty, I'm working on the little notes we're doing for our sample collection.
So
you want to describe this? You want to describe this rock?
I would be happy to describe this rock. This is an igneous rock, which is the best kind of rock. Forget those carbonates. But this igneous rock is very altered, and it just broke up.
So that was...
I think we are not going to collect that piece that you have in your claw. Just drop it. We can look at it.
Look at it.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's really interesting.
Okay, co-pilot, can you tilt my camera up a tad?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether this is just really altered, which it could be, or whether the material itself is poorly consolidated volcaniclastic material, which it could be. Could be a bunch of ash. This has a really pale interior, and that is characteristic of some of the pumice that is formed. And pumice is a volcanic rock that has thousands and thousands of pores inside of it from expanding gas.
Now this sure does look porous.
It looks like pumice. Pumice often floats when it's first erupted, but eventually
it sinks.
Water gets into the pores and it can't sink to the seafloor.
So watch, do you want me just to drop this?
Yes, I do.
So is that a Is that a manganese crusting on that rock?
Yeah, Chris, this is Chris Kelly on shore in Hawaii asking if that black surface is manganese, and I think that's exactly what it is, Chris.
It's only 4.
So I think this part of this seamount may be kind of old.
I'll see what they want. So watch, Lita, would you like to try for a piece of that or another piece around here?
You know,
that's what I was asking the question, given that we're kind of
I
in the
think
crater,
so.
It seems strange to see a manganese crust crater.
I think if you can, dial down the power of the manipulator, maybe we can keep it intact. There was a piece a little bit lower to the left that looked kind of the same size, but if you can be a little more delicate in your approach,
sure,
maybe we can keep it in one piece rather than a bunch.
I did have it fairly low.
Did you?
Yeah. At 4 out of 10, which is You know, we use one for, say, a sea cucumber.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe these are type 1 pumice fragments.
Let's see. So I might have to
You might have
close
to
the
move
box and move
the
to find a new
ROV.
one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Copilot, will you just try doing port wing outboard and see if
It was
shilling closes
interesting
automatically?
how
Excellent.
rollable
Okay,
that
let's
rock
do
was
this.
too. So it was
Pilot,
not a real
sorry,
dense
that was my
chunk.
fault. I recorded it before you had it in the box.
Oh, that is bad luck, yes.
It is.
Counting your chickens before they're hatched.
Exactly.
So our pilot is going to move the ROV just a little bit, see if we can get into a good position to be able not only to see the rock, but be able to extend the sampling
Okay,
sled
arm is off.
so that once he's picked up something, he can actually get it into the box. So the lid has been closed on the port sample box, so that'll have to be opened again once he's repositioned.
Okay, I'll reposition in this area, look for a similar rock, be a lot more gentle.
Thank you.
Actually, will you get a monitor right back to Sirius HD?
I can get that.
Okay.
You know, pilot, we could actually, because these do seem to be very low density things, you could try to go for a slightly larger rock than we looked for initially.
Because of the weight? Okay.
Because of the weight, yeah. I'm pretty sure these are going to be real light. It looks like most of these pieces we're seeing in the field of view really are in place here.
This one is a little bit smaller right there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It looks similar, but a little smaller.
Can you pan a little bit to the right?
To the right, yes, of course.
Because I think I saw some things over beneath that obvious short cliff that might be able to be picked up. Yeah, I'm looking at the lasers. A little bit to the right of the lasers now.
Video, want to do a quick zoom center screen?
And right on the lasers. Yeah, see that sort of cobblish thing that's just above the lasers? It looks like it just might be in a pile of debris. I don't know if it's really attached or not.
I think we might, just trying to remove
right
it, we'll
looks
probably
sort of
break it
loose,
off.
too.
Okay,
The bottom right.
okay.
Is
Oh, do you see something that
The upper
you
left
might
of
be able to
lasers
grab?
is around the right-hand side that he's pointing out to you.
Yeah,
Above the lasers now,
but they wanted one a little bit bigger, I think. So.
Okay.
Left of lasers now looks to be and up.
Yeah,
Looks like
that one's also a little smaller.
10 centimeters.
It's about 10 centimeters, yeah.
That's a partial zoom.
Okay, can you go wide again? Nothing on screen here. I'll just back up a little.
The giant one above the lasers is too big, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let me just make a bigger move to the right and see.
There's some 30 centimeters right of lasers.
Above the lasers, slightly upslope, near the bottom of that slightly vertical exposure, there may be some that are obtainable. In fact, pretty much anything up here, we're almost on the top of the rim of the crater.
That's right, about 150
the
meters
lasers
from
near
the
the
rim.
top of the screen. moves it
Not
around.
very
Maybe,
many of these would be out of place.
We are all stowed and safe. Maybe we should just move till we find an ideal one? Or
Yeah, that I guess that would be okay.
'Cause-
Yeah, that would be
Because
okay.
we're
have
up on close to waypoint 1, right?
2.
2. Yeah, waypoint 1 is where we
waypoint
set
2,
down.
About 150
Right
meters.
Yeah.
under lasers is a good one.
Yeah, so
That's
if we
pretty
could find
large.
something up here.
yeah, I'll just, instead of spending a long time there,
Yeah,
we can
right.
just look.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Co-pilot,
fine,
are
thanks.
we going to need to move
Yeah.
Sirius with him?
Okay,
Eventually.
yeah, Sirius is way behind us. And
Yeah,
to
you wanna
give
do
the
a
ROV
30
pilot a
meter
little
move?
bit more slack, we need to move that.
30, you think? Okay.
Or you can start with a 20 in case we find a rock right away.
Sure. The bearing on that is about 345, which looks like pretty close to where we're at.
Yeah, over on the right side of the screen, looks like there may be some target-rich areas.
That sounds good.
Great.
I'll come around to 345.
Yeah, that's good.
Just to
Yep, I'll call
give reference.
What about video? Can you zoom in?
Bridge, ROV nav.
Yeah, most of this looks like it's pretty attached,
Yeah,
but there are
okay,
some
you know
loose
why?
fragments.
So you said this is all more of a pumice type stone?
Yeah, I think
right where
probably a
lasers are,
lot of
it's
this is
red.
pumice.
Yeah?
The
Want to
rock.
zoom in?
Bridge, ROV
While you're looking,
nav.
you might want
Right
to
there.
zoom on the reddish. Is that biology
We'd like another
on
ship
that
move.
slope? Yeah, it
20
is.
meters, bearing 345 degrees, 0.2 knots.
I copy 20 meters.
Anybody have any clue as to what the red material is on the
Good copy,
surface
thank
of
you.
this rock?
Patty, you don't think that that's
Okay, setting down.
that's
video.
any kind of? Oh no, let me
Now that
see.
everyone's talking
You know,
about
there's
it.
Not meant-
nothing like that on any of the other surfaces,
No,
Shirley.
I know.
There's a crack there, and it could
And
be that.
Okay,
co-pilot
go in.
just making sure you're aware that
I suppose it
our
could be my-
serious depth,
Taking
our
a
D2 depth
closer
seems
look
to be
at
lower.
that.
See the Tom Cruise movie War of the
You
Worlds?
said tilt up?
Yeah. There's
Ha,
dots.
say
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Did you ever see the Tom Cruise movie War of the Worlds?
Yes.
Well,
And the
I
ship is
don't
in motion.
think it's the same thing as the red we saw in that movie. Let's hope not.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's what comes to mind when I see this.
Is it a bryozoan?
I have no idea.
See the other red?
I'm not so sure it's biological. It looks
Yeah.
more geological.
Yeah, I'm not either, Chris.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
bryozoan is too flat.
Yeah, that's what I think too. To me, it looked more geological than biological. Ooh, but I'm seeing.
But I wonder if it
Just
could be
the gain on,
biological staining, and
the
then,
serial summer, just a
microbiological staining
Sounds
hanging
good.
down under that rock
Yeah,
on that side.
yeah.
Those places
Yep.
like the sponges.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, pilot. Can we zoom in on that feathery thing that's right in the
Yeah.
center of the screen, please?
We're max zoom, that's very tiny.
Yeah.
Max zoom, yep.
There's also fuzzy on the left-hand edge. of the
Yeah,
rock.
I agree.
yeah.
That does look like the
Matting.
cladorized. We're zoomed
what
in,
is that?
Max. One of the carnivorous sponges.
Oh, wow.
I know. It looks like it looks like there might actually be
Tiny,
a
though.
crustacean on one of those side branches.
We definitely cannot reach in there to get it.
Okay, got it. Well,
We understand.
yeah, we understand.
On the left side of the rock,
Yeah.
Where the
very
tweezers.
transparent,
Yeah.
kind of wafting back inside, upper left.
Yeah, I see that also.
Very, very thin
Yeah, there
hair-like
looks like-
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pilot, you see over on the left side of that rock, it looks like there's some, really
coated,
fine.
yes.
Yeah.
It's coating the entire rock.
Yes, it is.
You
Yeah.
just can't see it from this vantage point. See the upper left of the rock.
Maybe 10 more meters. That
Yep,
move
see that.
Looks like
Excellent.
D2's still out ahead of us.
Yeah, we're still trying to get Sirius a little closer so that it's right above the remotely operated vehicle.
Okay.
That is the vehicle that is tethered to the remotely operated vehicle, D2.
Now-
Scott, we're seeing all of these sticks, that we saw earlier, the stalks or the sticks. Do you think those are the same thing as we
to the
saw
right, please.
earlier? Those sticks on which there are amphipods.
Under
Yeah, I
the
see the
darkest of
sticks,
the
Shirley.
red.
I don't
Yeah.
see any amphipods at this point.
Yeah,
No, I don't
Cool.
either.
Not ready to say
They
if
look-
they're the same.
They kind of look segmented.
The sticks, yeah,
Yeah.
they do. They do.
Just about done
I
with
see
that
little
move,
dark
but you're probably lagging behind at
bands.
this step.
Yeah, it's probably
along the sticks.
3 or 4 minutes maybe.
Okay.
All right, science, as we pull out, I saw a sponge off to the left. I don't know if you guys are interested.
There's a likely sponge to the
Yeah,
left
wait, I didn't hear. I
here.
think, was it Scott or Chris trying to say something? I didn't hear that.
So can you go wide video?
Oh, that was Scott. I was just saying that
See the
those
sponge
sticks
on
are
the
so
left-hand edge?
small, it's hard to make out any kind of identifiable detail, but I see what you mean. That looks banded, where maybe the tissue is thinner.
Yeah, could be.
Oh, I see.
Right,
Wait,
okay.
I see something here.
Yeah, another one of those like siphon or tube sponges over on the. I see.
Is that
You're
the
looking
rock
at that
you just
rust.
set
That's
down
the rock my skid was touching. Yeah.
Okay, so up to the top left where we just were.
Video saw a sponge.
Yeah, I actually saw it too. It looks like that one,
Okay.
the tube sponge that we saw earlier.
All right. Coming left and up.
Okay,
So
it's
the-
almost
down,
at 12 o'clock now.
So much orange.
The orange staining you see on the seafloor is where the bottom of the remotely operated vehicle had been sitting down.
And
So
both
there's a
those
little bit of
spots-
rust on the rocks now.
Both those spots have shrimps that have been attracted to them.
Yeah, shrimps are interested in the disturbed sediment.
I don't see
Yep,
anything
you got
that
it dead center. Yeah,
Okay, video?
yep, your lasers are right on it. Yeah,
that is
yeah,
exactly like the
this for
previous
sure
one.
looks like the one we saw before.
Do you
That's
know
pretty
what that
cool.
is?
You know, I'll tell you, there are some sponges that have that kind of like a bulbous
Like rotate, right?
base, and then these longer
Lot of
tubes.
And a lot of spicules on the base that are longer that catch
Actually, that's
things.
a lot of it's
Okay, tilt up
it's
to the
other
top.
epibionts, so
as
it's
they're
not
talking about it,
spicules
they
that
won't
are
catching
trapping stuff.
things.
No,
okay.
no.
So these are actually growing
Yeah,
on it.
so this could be something
go
like
ahead, tilt up.
Oceanapia. Boy,
Interesting.
it could be in a number of different orders. Boy,
It's a stumper, huh?
it's a stumper, and I'm holding out for collection. You can see up at the top of the tube, it's membranous. There's a fine membrane right up at the top of that tube. This
There
video
sure
is
is.
awesome,
It
really awesome.
is.
Boy, I'm thinking more just
Okay.
looking at that architecture that it's more in the order Haplosclerida, but
Looks like
Oh.
which would make it an Oceanapia, I think.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I thought the ROV had moved.
No, you did.
So surely there's no way
did
this would
slightly,
be in
that's
the
why I pulled
family
it out.
Polymastiidae, right? Because some of them got that type of siphon
just
tube
went black
coming up,
and
but the
iris,
base
it would
doesn't
respond.
look right.
No, the polymastids, Chris, tend to be tougher, and there
still
would be
looking for a rock
multiple
sample,
Yeah.
multiple siphons or multiple
Wanna look at
tubes.
the
This
red
looks
rust, or you wanna hang with
very
this one
much
or
like an Oceanapia,
had a
something like
thought.
that. The other one that it could be that's in a completely different order would be Topsentia.
Oh, thank you, Pilot, for breaking
get a
free those
big
samples.
I did that on purpose. By the way.
I know you did, and I'm greatly
You
appreciative.
punch a couple of those
Is that
names
something you'd
in
like
the
to
event
pursue?
log just
Yes,
so
I'll
we have
yes, I'll
a
definitely do that.
right?
Yep, will do, Chris.
Want to look at it tight now?
Ramming speed.
Science, I believe Pilot was asking you if you're
I knew
interested in
that
that
they're
rock
so
there.
soft that it. would
Yeah.
be
You want that
okay.
rock? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Actually, you know what? I am interested in that
So we get to try out
In
that
viewing
Air
or
Force
collecting?
One.
rock. To do both.
Okay,
My
you
mic
want to
is
zoom
not
here?
muted.
Yeah, I can't-
However, my microphone is too far away from my mouth.
now I can
There
hear
we
you.
go. So, yeah. Now, is that from the skegs of the
Yeah, I just
ROV?
I bumped down
okay,
a little bit on purpose to.
to try to open it up,
Yeah.
loosen things. Yeah, but
I mean, it's
I
gonna
would
be kind
rather,
of a messy
I would
sample,
rather
yeah.
not get
Okay.
something that's
Can go wide video.
contaminated. Really?
Plastic.
I wouldn't think they were. Huh.
Well, the good news is
Yeah.
if you do decide to sample this, it will fit in your rock box.
Okay.
Eventually.
Okay. So I was wrong with what I said yesterday. A few minutes ago. Thank you very much.
Okay, ready to move on from here?
I just want to make the observation that it's interesting when we are a meter or two above the bottom and looking at it from a biological perspective.
Yeah,
You
it
might
looks
think
like
that this
we're
is very
done our
damage.
damage.
But when we
Somewhat ahead,
zoom in close there,
and
we
then
see
we'll
lots of little stuff. I think we made that observation on the dive a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I agree. Every time we zoom in, we see tons of little tube worms. There's a fish, I think, in the upper right. Is that
Fish
right?
from right to left above lasers.
Yeah. It's pretty small.
Oh, yeah, I see him up there,
It's
yeah.
pretty small.
Drifting across toward the left.
It's the wrong
Right.
one.
That's correct.
Okay, you want to zoom here?
Yep.
Before I scare him away.
And
Like another halosaur, I think.
yep, it looks like the one
Showing
the
us
very
his
first fish
underbelly.
we saw on this dive.
Maybe we can count scales if they were interested in that on the face.
Count scales on the face. It's not,
And in the
This one's
background, we
showing us
are
the face.
seeing kind of a
Look at his
orangey
Oh, that's the top.
color
Never mind.
oh,
in a lot of
Coming
these
up.
rocks. I'll let the people on shore describe the fish. Chris,
There he
do you
is.
know exactly what this guy is? Want to say anything about it? A halosaur?
Well, this is another halosaur, and again, because if you look right on the top of its snout, between its eyes,
Right.
you see sort of a gelatinous look to it. You
Yes.
don't see scales. And so that's one of the diagnostic characters that you look at, and that, of course, is a marvelous image of the head. And so we can see it's lacking
we got
scales,
lasers on.
and that, as far as I know, places it in the genus Aldervandia.
Lasers off.
And so that's really good. Now, as far as which species, I don't know these well enough. Bruce would have to take it further with his knowledge about them.
Yep, Bruce Monday will be looking at this video.
This is Bruce.
Good.
I'm back. However,
Coming back
for
up to-
species identifications, after trying to figure these out during the Hawaiian expeditions, I can't do anything with that right now. We really have to get in and dig on the details, comparing it with publications to try to guess at the species. So I think you have it as far as it can be taken, the genus Aldrovandia.
Thank you very much, Bruce. It's a beautiful fish. Love the tail.
Okay, we're clear with it.
okay, go ahead.
Now that.
Thank you, video.
Oh.
And there's another fish coming into
Let's
view.
go in on that one.
Completely different
Pass each
guy.
other, then we'll zoom in. as
Okay.
you follow
Yeah,
him.
that's a different fish, and I think Bruce can tell you about this
Whatever
one.
you'd like to
Take
do.
after him.
Bruce, you still there?
I'll try, but we're getting video freeze here, so we're not seeing things at the same time that you're seeing. And also, by the way, I'm not able to log onto my laptop today. I'm having some computer issues that I haven't been able to resolve. So we'll see if it comes up, but right now we have a frozen image of the halosaur.
Okay.
So, Bruce, it's a synaptobranchid for sure.
We're gonna zoom in
And
start at
the
his
dorsal
tail.
fin's about halfway back along the top of the body. So it doesn't look as far back to go to Breva dorsalis, but I don't remember how many of them have got slightly shorter dorsal fins.
Still drifting away. I'm continuing to push focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several. There's one Spinathobranchus oregoni, that has an intermediate dorsal fin, not as far back as Brevirostris, but not as far forward as Aphanus or a couple of the others. It could be that species is known from Japan. So we could
wily.
have Spinathobranchus oregoni, or it could be another one.
Okay, pulling full wide.
Well, thank you, pilot, and
You're
thank you,
welcome.
video. I wonder if we might be able to just drop down a little bit toward the right and see if we can find a loose rock sample to grab. I think we're still in the area where the ROV broke open that rock, and
Yeah,
it
we
might be
haven't come
possible
too far.
to grab a chunk of it. and that'd be fine. It'd be interesting to see what the red material is, and then when we get inside the crater, who knows what we'll find? Maybe old hydrothermal vent material.
There's a lot of stuff over here.
Yeah, it looks a lot.
Sorry, Pilot, I've lost
A
track
lot of
where you
rocks
did that
over
earlier.
on the left.
Lost track of what?
Of where you broke that rock open earlier.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. There are plenty of them over there on the left-hand side of the screen.
There's got to be something here.
Just got to be really gentle.
Oh, there's a pile there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Any of these would be perfect.
Can we get lasers back on, Copilot?
Lasers on.
Let's see. Yeah, there's 2, 3, 4 here that are about 15 centimeters.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, any of those would be great.
3, 4 here that are about 15 centimeters.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, any of those would be great.
Looks like we're starting to see some of those knob sponges that we saw yesterday as well.
Oh, yeah. Where? So that right in the just above the center of the screen, is that one of those sponges that flatten out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think that's just some of the sediment. I've been doing some background literature searching on that sponge to see if it's ever been reported from this depth. And I know there's some records of occurrence off the coast of Japan. So I'm just trying to go back into the Sponge Bible to find out. We have this thing called the Sponge
Pilot,
Bible.
The rock just at 11 o'clock from where the lasers are, is that too big?
Oh, right up there?
Just upper
yeah,
left.
I see it.
Kind of looks like triangular.
Do you want
as it's facing
you mean upper right there?
No, I'm looking at the one on just to the left of the lasers.
Yeah, that one is about 10 centimeters. It looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
Okay, can we get a mini Zeus on the right monitor?
I can get that.
Okay.
Thank you, Nav.
So the pilot approaches to try to pick up this rock sample. What he needs to do is use a couple of different video screens because
the lasers on,
main view that you see in front of you, it's just a flat screen, so it's kind of difficult to get that parallax view that you need in order to be able to pick up an object. But that can be achieved with the additional cameras that are on the upper bar of
We're going to get the one
ROV.
that the left-hand laser is touching.
It's a partial zoom to show the coral that's on that, plus the fuzziness.
Oh yeah,
on
there's
the
a
left
little
of
coral on
edge
that.
of that rock.
Can you get a little more of the craft for a moment?
Little.
With the mini.
And if that one crushes
Hydraulics are still on. Yep.
Hydraulics
in
back on.
collection,
Okay,
there are
we're back
plenty
on.
more right here that could be picked up.
Yeah, I agree.
Science, take note on that rock that you're referring to. There is a small coral on the top, and
I
there's
did
also
notice.
the biological fuzziness.
Okay. And
on
will
the
you get
left-hand
a
edge
port
of the
slider inboard?
Okay.
Should we consider a bio box for this if it's going to be so fragile?
We can do that.
Biobox.
I did not set up for one. I'd have to reset up.
Okay,
But
never mind.
watch lead, is that going to be an issue?
Not for the rock, but
Okay.
but possibly for that little commensal coral that's on the rock.
could,
So what do you think, Shirley?
You know what? You guys are so quick in getting the vehicle back on the surface, and if we just bring a bucket down there with water, we can pull that rock out and get it into
Okay.
cold water really quickly.
right.
It hasn't been an issue before.
Yeah,
On a
the seas are calm enough that that's not going to roll
Okay.
around too much.
Yeah.
And on a day
that'll be
like
fine.
today with no current down here, I
Yeah.
can just keep it in my jaw, lift off, so the
Okay.
drawer's clear and put it in. So either way, whichever you prefer.
Yeah. Yeah, got it.
Okay. All right. So we'll do rock box then.
Okay.
Will you do port slider inboard?
Port rock box. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Thank you.
Port wing
Still
aboard.
going with igneous rock.
We
And
are
get the mini Zeus to it.
definitely igneous rock,
Mini Zeus
possibly
coming
pumice. We'll know when we get it back up here. My money's on pumice.
Thank you.
So the pilot's opening the lid of the rock box. It's on the port side, the left side of the vehicle.
There's an eel here. The fish is interested.
Maybe he'll swim right into the box, too.
Maybe he'll swim into the... Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Now that
I was just kidding about that.
Does it count as one of our samples?
It's swimming backward and going away.
If he swims into the box,
Didn't
does it count
like
as a
what
sample?
happened.
No.
Not in the
It doesn't count as a biological sample.
Incidental. Okay.
Well, not if they're volunteers.
They're volunteers.
It's not our fault.
For this guy here.
There are
Jim's trying to start a debate.
There are Darwin Awards for fish, too.
Oh, I'm just looking at this. What is this?
Any zooms necessary?
No, I'm feeling pretty good.
Is that grip force swap?
Gently, gently, catchy pumice. Oh, look at that.
There it is.
Our pilots are totally amazing.
It's kind of wedged in there, but...
Fantastic. I wonder if we can
Okay.
rotate it a little bit.
Yeah, co-pilot, will you tilt my HD up? Main HD?
Well, I think all we're going to
Okay.
see on this is the
Ready,
exterior.
video?
But that is still interesting. There is some of that red discoloration on the surface on the left side of this rock. I'm looking to see if it's real porous, and definitely it is. It has a lot of vesicles,
Okay,
as well as
tell
some
me when to
commensal
rotate.
critters
Stand by
attached.
to get in my focus. Seeing the fuzziness on the lower left.
I see a sort of a gelatinous fuzziness, but I'm wondering if that is attached or if it is. No, it is. Shirley, look at
Yeah,
the
so
lower
like-
left side of
yeah,
that.
it's
There's
all
sort of
fuzzy.
hair-like. Wonder if
Thinking
that's biological, bacterial
yeah,
mat. Yeah,
bacterial.
it may be that the red staining we saw earlier was indeed some sort of a bacterial
for full
encrustation on the
rotation.
sample.
I see the fuzziness over the entire rock surface.
Yeah.
It is. Well, we'll see what it is when we get it back up. Maybe we can scrape off a little bit of that.
But you know what? We had that I think it was
Happy
yesterday
video?
on one of the rocks. It was really hard
To get
it's
off.
Not that it's just really, really like flimsy.
Flimsy. Okay.
So last chance to do a bio box.
Nope. Let's just put it in here in the
Okay.
port side rock box. And then I wonder, once we've got the rock, if we could maybe go take a look at that fish. If it cooperates. So our depth is 200, 400,
Right, so
900.
over here,
Mary Jo says that was a great rock
tempo
choice.
is kind of tweaked
921.
inward.
Oh, good,
I'm
Mary
not
Jo.
too concerned about that.
Yeah,
should go back.
it's
Pulling
right
upward?
at
Yes,
the
please.
upper rim of this crater that we're targeting. So, although it's not, plucked from an in situ outcrop, I'm sure that it is related to the very top of this cone.
And then can you bring the mini Zeus over for me to stow?
Great, nice work.
Minizu's coming right.
Thank you, pilot. What a
You're
great
welcome.
job.
There's something growing on the rock to the left of where you picked up that rock. You wanted to
Ready
zoom
for
that
HPU.
before we pull out.
Hold on one sec. Okay.
And
now I
we're
am.
getting a good view of where that rock was
Down
collected.
and
And it
off.
was in a field of cobble to boulder-sized igneous rock.
Okay, we have our rock sample.
Thanks.
You have the
And
pen and tilt control back.
Mary Jo, who is Mary Jo Browns, who is one of
Minizu's
the
back.
proposers of this
Oops.
dive, says, "Okay, great."
Do we just do that at the same
Sorry,
time?
We did.
You want me to get you there?
Do it.
There we go.
Thank you.
So pilot, before we take off, lower
Yes.
left of where we picked up that sample, there's another big round rock there, and it's got some small tree-like structure growing on it. Left edge of the screen.
Oh, I see that little coral.
Not sure if it's coral or hydroids or what.
Yeah.
Please show it to science if they're interested.
Okay, go for it.
Let's take a look. There's something growing on that large boulder right in the center of the screen. What are those, Shirley?
They look like hydroids to me. Scott, what do you think? Hydroids? Oh, looks like a little gastropod maybe also.
Yeah, what are the white blebs on the arms of these hydroids?
Crustaceans, probably amphipods.
Amphipods, okay.
Depends on which rock you grab, what biology you get. Huh?
Yeah. Could get those. You could get that whole rock too. But
nope,
we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
We are going to wait and see once we get into the crater if there might be some sort of chimney things.
Speaking of which, we should probably get moving again.
Mary Jo, why don't you type into the log?
Yeah,
or,
so we'll be 345.
Or let us know
yeah, 345
over the chat if you think there might be chimneys, and if there are, would you like that sort of thing, or do you want more igneous rock?
Okay.
I'll get out front. So how close to the rim are we? It's supposed to be at 910. We're at 920.
Let's call it still maybe 140 meters.
Okay.
Ways to go.
Where's the actual downhill part of the caldera? Does it show up?
It's right after. I'll show you on my map.
It's to the west of us.
It's between waypoints.
I believe.
I see.
About, maybe as much as 15 degrees down.
So 2 is kind of the top of the rim.
2 is the rim.
Yeah, we're going up to the top of the rim
to 3
of the crater.
And up to 5. And then 6, climbing that last peak is a bonus if we have time.
All right, well, let's get to the top at 2. I'm ready for a move.
Okay. Co-pilot, are you ready for a move?
Ready for a move.
Let's do 30 meters at 345.
Sounds good.
Mary Jo says she doesn't have any idea what to expect inside the crater. There's a bathymetric high, sort of a mound in the center.
Can we get a ship move? 30 meters, bearing 345 degrees.
Mary Jo, if you recall from the pre-dive call, on the north west side of the crater wall, there's kind of a protrusion. And I've been in some calderas around here with a Shinkai. Ooh, we're getting another one of these lobsters.
Yeah, the blind ones.
And I'm hoping maybe that might be a more recent mound of eruptive material. Let's take a look at the lobster.
This is good because we can get a closer look at the head end and maybe see those eye stalks.
Oh, you want to see those? I can set down real quick.
Yeah, please. Thanks, pilot. I want to see the eye stalks.
So we saw, for you folks at home, we saw one of these earlier, and our shore-based scientists told us that these are blind lobsters. They have eye stalks, but no eyes.
Just vestigial appendages for the eyes. Living in the dark.
Deep sea. Yep.
I sat down on a rock.
Yeah, we are at 918 meters depth, and there is no light down here.
Yeah.
Perfect view.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
If you're diving in a submersible,
I got it.
You can see light down a couple hundred meters, but below that, everything is just pitch dark.
Might be a good time to tell the folks back home who have maybe just tuned in.
Video.
Who we are and what we're doing.
What we are doing right now. We're zooming in on a blind lobster, and we are at 918 meters, a place called Chamorro Seamount in the Marianas Trench.
National Marine Monument.
We are aboard the NOAA ship. Okeanos Explorer, which is America's ship for ocean exploration.
Slightly more right.
My name is Shirley Pomponi. I am the biology science lead. I am from the Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute at Florida Atlantic University, and
And Patty Fryer. I am the geology science lead, and I'm from the University of Hawaii, Manoa, and I am also associated with the Hawaii Institute of Geophysics and Planetology there on the island of Oahu. We also have an expedition control center on the University of Hawaii at Manoa's campus, and there are a bunch of people there that are looking at the screen with us. And what we do is, Shirley has a specialty in sponges. I have a specialty in igneous rocks and tectonics.
yeah, Tim, Tim, I don't know if you're still on, if you wanted to say anything about this lobster that we're looking at. Tim Shank is, yep, here
We heard a beep.
I heard a beep.
Tim, are you there?
Tim Shank is a deep sea biologist from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute. I see him on the chat log.
Well,
Video's clear.
yeah, let's go.
All right, so Scott's not going to answer this one. This is in the family Polychelidae, and there's some question there whether Scott thinks it's Polycheles, and I think it's Homerion, but that doesn't matter. We're right in the ballpark here on this animal. It is considered a lobster, but it's also considered a living fossil as well. It is considered a very, very primitive form of lobster. Whether it's even considered a true lobster, I doubt that, but I'm not sure.
Anyway,
fish.
it's a really interesting animal. If you're lucky, you get treated to maybe one or two of these on a dive. So that was great to find one. I had stepped out, I guess, when you came across the first one. I didn't see that, so this is the first one I've seen on the dive. That's terrific.
Yeah, so this is the second one.
Second.
So it's at least the second, because I stepped out of the room for a while as well.
There's definitely a current from the northeast, I think.
Oh, there's a Tina 4. Yeah, Tina 4.
It's not a giant. And a fish in the distance.
The Tina 4, yeah, he's
Pilot, that
washed
current
out with
is
the lights.
about the same as I'm seeing throughout the water column.
Where'd he go?
It's probably floated by us.
When they get into the lights, they completely go invisible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're joined by a number of shore-based scientists, not only those at the Exploration Command Center at the University of Hawaii, but at Exploration Command Centers elsewhere. I think Underwater World Guam has a beautiful Exploration Command Center. We may have participants there who are observing, and we also have a number of scientists who are participating from their offices, labs, or homes, because it's quite late in some of the areas. We have, let me see, we have Asako Matsumoto, who's been one of our regular participants, and she's from the Chiba Institute of Technology in Japan, and has been participating in each of these expeditions, each of these dives that we've had over the last few days, and I think in Leg 1 as well, deep sea biologist. And we have Scott France from Louisiana.
Make sure they don't want to
See who else. Looks like Les Watling is on, Mary Jo Brown's. Tim Shank, of course, I mentioned before. So we have a lot of scientists who are actually part of the science team for this expedition. Patty and I are just representing the science community, but all of our shore-based scientists are participating in this expedition.
You have to tilt down your main HD.
Wow.
I see.
So maybe a crab.
You're on mute.
I can't tell.
There's another lobster to the right, I think.
Mic's not open, science.
It is now.
Okay, video.
Yeah, we're going to go take a look at the lobster to the right after we look at this guy. This guy's a crab.
This is a crab.
That's different from what we've seen so far.
Looks like it is.
I've not seen one of these on this dive. Okay, let's see your pinchers. Oh, teeny little pinchers. Any of our shore-based experts know what this guy is?
Scott says crab.
Scott says crab.
It's a crab. It's not a squat lobster.
Right.
And I think it could be in the family Homolidae, but it's an odd angle.
See, now this
I
we
think
call that
the
moving
two
right away.
hind legs
Start
that it's
getting worried
holding
in a minute.
up, you can see it behind the antenna
Right.
on each side. That's what a lot of the homolids do. They hold their last two pair of legs up, and many of them actually grab onto things and